Coolerbot, what the fuck are you doing?
Are you wearing a virtual reality headset?
Virtual reality is my only reality. I am a robot, remember?
Dude, you're supposed to be fixing the Flipnotronic Hamfabulators.
Yeah, we're trying to check out that GES lab on LV-354 to stock up on medical supplies and, grenades and shit, but we'll never make it without our Slipknot Rodix Crabtablitators.
But I'm in the middle of the best Beat Saber game of my life.
Dude, hurry up. Our chains are so dry.
Oh crap. Our systems have crapped out. Crap.
We need to make an emergency landing.
Welcome to Crew Expendable. I am... no help. Don't help me. We're doing this off the dome. Suitcase. Guy who welds suitcases shut, Hallstrom.
And I am helpful synthetic robot pal Rohrbacher.
I was gonna go with a different one, but it's a spoiler, and that's why I stumbled there, everybody. And we are trudging our way through the salty atmosphere of the alien universe. Did you know it was salt? Did you know it's a salt? It's not snow. It's a salt planet.
I did not notice that. No.
Yeah, it's a salt planet.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Kenny, how's it going?
It's going fine, honestly. I burned the hell out of my hand at work the other day. Burned a big old chunk right out of the back of one of my fingers, but otherwise I'm doing okay.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have a job where you get paid to stick your hands into boiling oil for 6 hours.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's fine. It looks bad, but it's at the point where it's like, you just got to kick back and like leave it not covered and just like dry out and heal for a couple of days. That's the point we're at. So it looks worse than it actually is, but I'm just kind of just chilling, waiting for it to get better,
Gotcha. Hate to put salt on that wound.
Yes, that would be very bad, actually.
Yeah, specifically, hold on.
Good thing I was already done playing the game before the burn happened.
Specifically, silicate salt. So I don't know if that would have the same effect, but probably.
Probably.
Yeah. So I know everybody was probably expecting this to be an episode on Aliens versus Predator Classic, the 2000s PC game.
And for a long time, it was going to be. However,
we tried, guys. We tried.
Yeah, we sure did.
Look, we have access to the game. The game is hard as fuck, and neither of us just got there. Honestly,
yeah,
we just didn't get there.
Yeah, I think I have 38 minutes of it logged onto Steam, and that 36 or 38 minutes was trying all three of the campaign modes and either getting completely lost 3 rooms in or getting killed like 3 minutes after I start the level.
Definitely a game where you need to be quick saving often, right? It's
really hard. It's real hard, and I'm really bad at it, and so it did not go well.
It's from that era of PC gaming. I couldn't. I probably played about the same amount as you. I think I put a full hour or so into it, and was just kind of like, all right, this is rough, and I've lost all my progress now, and I have to start this all over again because I'm not hitting that quick save button because I'm just again not used to this era of gaming anymore. So, and then I just was not motivated to pick it back up. And we just kind of sat on it for a while, and we were like, we got to do something else. We screwed around with a couple of ideas. Kenny, you recommended, and we attempted to try the mobile game, the Aliens versus Predator. Was it
Evolution?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't get that up and running because my Android setups are a little unconventional.
They sure are, yes.
So I struggled a bit.
Yeah, it is I mean, it's probably presumably on iOS too, but I have an Android. But it's like a mobile game, and I've had it installed on my phone for like a good couple of years. But Neil has like a weird wonky system thing going on, and so he, despite it working flawlessly on my phone, he couldn't even get it to install. And so the plan was that I would play it and then tell him about it. But then, like a day or two later, we were like, I think we'd rather like cover something that we both actually like did.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of days after that, Neil messaged me and he's like, "Guess what I just bought?"
Yeah. So what happened was I bought a PlayStation 5 finally.
Mm-hmm.
I've been Xboxing it up, and finally I was like, you know what? It's time for me to move over.
To join the winning team. I got you.
Yeah, it's been time. So I got rid of a couple of extra Xboxes I had laying around.
Mm-hmm.
Got a PlayStation 5, and then spent a lot of my days playing video games that I already owned or still own on other platforms. One of them being Fireteam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, started my Fireteam career over everybody.
Yeah, you sure did.
You should all know that I did reach, and this is not a joke. I have a screenshot somewhere to prove it. Prestige rank 69 on my Xbox.
Did do that.
On my Xbox profile. Started from scratch on PS5. Not a whole lot of people playing that game still, but there are enough.
All right.
Yeah, played some with our friend Chris from our Alien Earth wrap-up episode.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Chris.
What up, Chris?
And then I was like, man, I need to play something on this a PlayStation 5 that I have not. I need a new experience, right?
All right.
So I went into the store and I bought Alien Rogue Incursion Evolved Edition.
Part 1.
Part 1. Deluxe version or whatever.
I think I also bought that too, but that's kind of surprising to me because I didn't know that the Evolved edition of this game was on the PS5 because like the original release, it was a VR game.
Yes, it was.
On the PS5. So I didn't know that the non-VR version was also on the PS5. That's interesting to me. I didn't know that.
It is, yeah. It's also, I mean, it's on PS5. I think it's on Xbox as well. Series XS.
I have it on Steam. I played it on my Steam Deck.
Yeah. So now Kenny and I both have different sort of, I'll call them limitations when it comes to playing games, right?
Mm-hmm.
First person perspective games for you, video games in general for me, what with my, whatever's going on with my brain, right? Causing
your problem's a lot more severe than mine is, yes.
Yeah. So neither of us played the VR version. We both played the Evolved Edition.
Yep.
And yeah, man, we're here to talk about Alien Rogue Incursion Evolved Edition Part 1.
Yeah, my understanding is that you just recently bought it like a week or two ago. I bought the Evolved Edition literally like the day it came out in like September or whenever it was.
Yeah, and I know we're supposed to be,
and then I just kind of sat on it until we were going to decide to cover it for the show, and then now here we are.
And here we are, and I know we're supposed to be in our Aliens versus Predator era, but fuck it, it's our show.
And also, we'll be getting back to that soon. The plan is the next episode is going to be some more AVP stuff, so it's fine.
Yeah, the next episode is going to be our AVP movie episode. We've already recorded it.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is next. But for now, let's talk about Alien Rogue Incursion.
Let's.
Yes. Strange, I'm going to say this up top. Strange that we're talking about this game a little bit before talking about Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
But who cares?
It sure is.
It's our show. I don't care.
Who cares? Yeah, it's fine. We'll get to Isolation sooner or later. It's fine.
Secondarily, Strange. This is a game starring Zula Hendricks.
Mm-hmm.
A little strange we're talking about this game before talking about Aliens Defiance.
Well, before a lot of things, because Zula has been in a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing we've covered on the show before now that she's been in was the novelization of Alien Isolation.
And that is our excuse to be able to talk about this now.
Yes.
Sure.
We're kind of backlogging that as retroactively the excuse.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a character. She's a very popular, very well known, very highly used character in like secondary Alien media,
Yeah.
and by pure chance, we have not covered any of it before now.
Very well regarded by the fandom as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I've read a little bit of Aliens Defiance. I haven't read the entire series. I've only read the first few issues, and I read issue 1 again last night just to kind of refamiliarize myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's issue 1's just all set up, but you kind of get, a little bit like she's in there. Amanda Ripley makes a brief cameo. Davis is introduced. You don't really understand it's Davis until the end. Oh, Davis is in the game. Everybody, people know who Davis is
sure
if they've
is.
been reading all of these things that Zula's a part of. But again, yeah, this is an area of the show or an area of the Alien media that we have not really covered on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're just jumping in right into the deep end here.
Yeah, this is clearly not even close to like, the first story of the character. This is not this game does not serve very well as like an introduction to the character of Zula. So like if you don't already know who she is, you're just going to kind of be like, "Okay, I guess she's like a space marine or whatever. Okay, cool, sure."
Yeah.
That's really about all you get.
Related, I think we're going to hold off on, because this game is still relatively new. I mean, it was a VR game before the Evolved Edition came out, which is the non-VR version. Definitely more available and accessible for people. We're going to discuss the game without spoiling it. We're going to spoil, I'm sure, storyline events at the end of the episode, okay?
Yeah, like by the time the episode is over, we'll have done it, but we're going to try to save it until then, so.
Yeah, there's going to be a clean break before we jump into super spoilery things. We're going to give an overview of the game. We're going to talk about our likes, dislikes, gameplay styles, all of that kind of stuff. Then we're going to jump into specific storyline spoilers. So you'll have a chance to jump off if you want to experience this for yourself without the surprises being ruined for you. And just to be clear, knowing that Zula and Davis are in this game is not a spoiler.
She's correct.
They're the main characters. And
they're, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a more clarifying version of that sentence I could say, but it might be a spoiler.
Yeah, it's from the top. You know.
Yeah, they're the main characters.
Yeah.
That's correct.
All right. So, let's jump in, start talking now about the general storyline setup of the game. That was me referencing my notes, right?
Yes. Basically, what it is Zula and Davis, who I gathered from context and then later on looked it up and found out to be correct, are both former soldiers who have since either quit or deserted from the military and are now just like doing their own thing. And they are on their way to a planet called Purdan because they got a message from a friend of hers named Ben Carver, I believe.
Yeah, Benjamin Carver, who I believe is only from this game.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be referenced anywhere else, so I figured that this character must have been invented for this game. But they're on their way there because she gets a message implying that it's a mining colony, and she gets like the message like implies that there's something wrong with it or some kind of cover up or something like that. And so they're going to Purdan because asks them to come to like investigate with him what's going on, and then as they fly in, they get shot down by an anti-aircraft cannon, and that is where the game starts.
Yes, they crash land on Purdan, aka LV-354. And yeah, she's just got to start exploring this deserted colony mining operation. And as you explore this mining operation, you sort of discover you piece together sort of the truth of what's going on here, right? You can access terminals and things and start reading stories, and you get a kind of a sense of what happened here. And there's aliens, guys.
The planet is controlled by a Weyland-Yutani style company called GES that I do not remember what that acronym stands for.
Yes, they were part of Alien Isolation, if I remember correctly. Right?
I don't remember either way, so I'm just choosing to believe you.
Gemini Exoplanet Solutions. They had the GES lab was, I think, a section of the Sevastopol station. It's been a long time since I've played Isolation or read that book.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me. Yeah, last time I read the book was when we read it for the show. So
I'll tell you, I'm thinking this is making me want to play some Isolation though.
It kind of is. Yeah, it kind of did. And so, yeah, she lands, and then Davis is, tinkering around back on the ship, which, by the way, I love that he wears glasses. That's so fucking funny to me. What a great look.
Sure.
A synth wearing glasses.
Yeah. So one thing I do know is he's part of a whole synth squad. He's the leader of like a synth squad in
Steel Team, got it.
Kind of a steel team, but they all look like
working Joes.
Well, like Alpha and Beta, maybe from Fire Team, right? So
that's more like it. Yeah, there we go. That's a better reference.
Put glasses on him to distinguish him, right? Yeah.
And but yeah. He stays back on the ship to go kind of goof around back there. And then there's like a abandoned facility nearby. And so you as Zula go in there and almost immediately get attacked by a xenomorph, which is very charmingly, she calls them X-rays throughout the game, which I find very funny.
Yeah.
And you get attacked by a xenomorph as part of like a scripted encounter. And then outside of the various scripted encounters that the game has where you fight a xenomorph, the game seems to have some kind of timer where every 90 to 120 seconds, they just randomly send a couple of xenomorphs at you just to kind of keep you on your toes every so often,
Yeah, if you're not moving through areas fast enough, they start sending them seems like mostly a duo at you.
Yeah, I was going to say spoiler alert, but it's not I was going to say that as a joke because it's not actually a spoiler. I played the game on easy, so I mainly just got annoyed whenever the xenomorph showed up because I was like, it takes like 2 hits to kill you. Stop sending these guys after me. It's just wasting my time and interrupting me while I'm trying to explore.
I played on whatever regular difficulty would be. I forget if they have funny names for them or not,
But yeah, like I said, she goes down there to investigate the facility, and then the game does the classic video game style move where it's like, task, open door. But then opening the door turns into like an entire 5-step ordeal because then you need to go find the key card. But then, oh no, the key card is gone and you have to go track it down. And then you do, and whoops, it's damaged. So you have to go make a new copy. And then you have to go track down the supplies to make the new copy. Yeah. And one of the supplies is behind another locked door that you have to figure out a way to bypass. And then you have it and you go back to the original door and oh no, now you have to go upgrade the card in order to be able to use it, et cetera, et cetera. And so it takes like an hour to get through the opening door of this game.
Yeah, you got to do video. You got to do video game stuff.
You got to do video game shit. And like, let me say right off the bat, that is not me complaining. I always find it so fucking funny when games do that shit. It is insanely enjoyable to me how they're like, we need to squeeze every single way of getting more game out of this plot as
Yeah.
we possibly can. So opening a door requires 4 steps and takes 50 minutes.
Sure, yeah.
Love it. Love that shit, man. I cannot get enough of it.
Okay. So no more storyline stuff. Gameplay wise, it's all presented in first person, right?
Yep.
You could call this one a first person shooter. It's not Alien Isolation. It is Alien Isolation's like super tight cousin, right?
Yeah.
Heavily inspired the way that you interact with objects. And again, we are speaking specifically of the non-VR version.
The Evolved Edition, yeah.
Yes, where you have, you walk through, you pick up items, but then interacting with things usually takes multiple button presses, right?
Yeah.
Hold this trigger, press the trigger again to turn the object. Those types of things that add suspense, especially when you think a xenomorph's going to pop out from behind you, interact with this terminal, but all of the stuff is still happening around you. So xenomorphs can pop out at you while you're interacting with this terminal and navigating these menus to open an airlock or purge the air or what have you.
For sure.
Carry this object around so you only have one free hand. And then if you need to use a second hand to reload or press a button or whatever, you drop the object and have to pick it back up. Those types of things, all of that stuff are going again to kind of add some realism to interacting with this world in a way that a lot of other video games don't have. The one thing go ahead.
One thing
I thought was very fun about all of these on the PlayStation, and this is me brand new to the PS5, is it has those pressure sensitive triggers, right?
Sure does.
That are resistive.
Yep.
And I'm not used to that. So it like had that resistance every time you're like pressing something. And I thought that was a very cool touch. It uses that to a very nice effect.
In a related way about like, the way that the game tries to, interact, like the way that you interact with the game is that the game doesn't have a mini map, but you can tap a button to like bring up a little console pad that literally depicts your hand holding it in the corner where the mini map would go. But adding on to what you said earlier about how when you're holding something in one hand, you can't use a weapon that's two-handed, that counts. So when you have the mini map up, you can't use your gun.
Yes.
And bringing up the mini map is a separate different button than bringing up the full map, which the animation of it is you just holding the console closer to your face so that it's bigger and you can see it better.
Yeah, man. And speaking of the mini map, Zula's not Amanda Ripley. Zula is prepared as she can be going into this, right? You start with the pulse rifle. She's got a flashlight. She's got a motion tracker. She's got her, her mini map. So you start with gear in this one, a sidearm, etc. You do still have to find some tools like a welding torch and some pliers to rewire junction boxes and things to open doors and restore power to doors and reroute power to access different locations. So it's
for sure.
Those kinds of things aren't quite as involved as Alien Isolation, but it was definitely certainly inspired by and trying to recapture a lot of that immersion from Alien Isolation. Never quite reaches those heights,
Yeah, this game operates a weird middle ground between Isolation and Colonial Marines.
Yeah.
It's more of a shooter and less of a horror game than Isolation is, but it's more of a horror game and less of a shooter than Colonial Marines is. Like,
It's
there's
also
gunplay, and that's how you like interact with like the enemies and stuff. But there's also but like there aren't as many enemies, and they're not like quite as hard to kill in comparison to Colonial Marines. And
Yeah.
there's also like a heavier aspect or a heavier focus on like exploring and finding stuff and coming across secrets and collectibles and things like that. And so it's like kind of a weird mishmash between light survival horror and light first person shooter, which I thought to be a very interesting combination.
I think so too. It's the combat never feels it doesn't feel tacked on, you know, but it's certainly not like as involved as something like playing Doom, like the modern Dooms, you know.
Sure,
it's not the
it's
not the star of the show either, right?
Yeah. No, it definitely isn't.
The game still creeped the fuck out of me though, honestly. So many times. You know, like the environment is extremely, you know, everything is dark, right? It looks like you're walking through, most of the time it looks like you're walking through that opening scene in Aliens when they're first entering the colony and the power is all off and they're walking through and you're seeing all of the barricaded hallways and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It captured that like flawlessly, like perfectly in my opinion. And yeah, and I got scared shitless by aliens so many times, not just in the scripted moments. First of all, every fucking scripted moment, you know, but just having them around. And I don't know if that changes when you pump the difficulty level down, if it just kind of goes away or not. But I found a lot of those instances. I found the game real fucking terrifying. Like like seriously.
Hell yes. Since we're talking about our opinions on the game, just more generally, what did you think then in that case?
What did I think? I had a fucking blast. I really, really enjoyed this game.
Hell yeah.
And I cannot wait for the second part, you know. It was short, and I knew it was going to be short. I knew it was part one. We should also say it's priced as a part one, right? It's like priced as half a game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the elements all came together really well. Certainly well enough to justify the existence of the game and not feel like it was hacked together and pieced together and didn't, you know, make sense.
I gotcha.
I found it all very, very, very immersive. The like walking into like a big empty room and hearing you can hear the fucking xenomorph in there if they haven't discovered you. You can hear them sort of banging around in there and like either trying to like find them to take them out or sneak around so that they don't hear you, which is something that you can do. Was very effective. Or like if I'm stuck in a room and I can't figure out what I got to do to get through there, like in the first getting through the garage at the beginning of the game, I got turned around so many times.
Yeah.
Like and they start coming at you or whatever. Like I got real nervous a few times. I loved it. It was great. I don't know if it's like a all-time great Alien game, right? But like I'm going to compare it to Fireteam, which we all know is a game that I'm obsessed with still to this day.
Yeah, you're big fan of, yeah.
Big fan. One thing that Fireteam has never been is scary. Right?
That's also true, yeah.
And by design, it's never been scary. And I've heard people say and describe Fireteam as like the perfect Aliens game, like Aliens with an S at the end. And I think that this does a better job of capturing the concept of aliens than that game does. Because again, like aesthetically, it looks and feels more like it. You know, the idea of sort of being stuck, like specifically the movie Aliens, right? Of being stuck and not knowing how to get off this place, right?
Yeah.
Or how to take care of this situation, feeling a bit unprepared because even though she goes in with all this gear, you got to like collect your ammo and find it all over the place, and just being, just being underprepared for the situation you've walked into by accident.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, this game just does a better job of that. Fireteam, you feel like a badass all the time. And in this game, you don't. Being a badass feels earned in this game, right?
Yeah.
I had a blast, and I will absolutely be playing this game again. I almost started playing it again right away, which is something I do when I really love a game. And it was short. Like I beat the entire thing in 7 hours.
I think it took me a little longer. I think I was between like between 8 and 9, but probably more like between 8 and 8.5, because I spent a while like wandering around trying to find all of the like messages and like open up all of the like wire grates and things like that.
Right.
So.
And see, the reason I want to play it again is because I know I missed a bunch of that stuff because I had no idea where I was, how much progress I had made, or where I was in the storyline. And I finished it yesterday morning, and I was afraid I wasn't going to finish it in time for us to sit down and record. So I was like, at some point I just decided, like the other night, I was like, I just got to tear through this thing and get through it so we can sit down and record. And I feel like I missed things, I'd love to get in there and just start, fiddling around more. Any time we had to crawl through a fucking vent, right? I died every time I had to go through a vent. Those were the times I died the most. I just had a blast.
Cool.
What about you?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this game?
I fucking loved it, dude. This game rocks. It's so good. I had a blast playing it. It ruled. I was hooting and hollering. It was great.
Man.
I really liked it a lot. A big part of the reason why I played it on easy is because since, Neil, as you inferred earlier, I get really, really bad like motion sickness when playing a game in first person. I will play a game for 10 minutes and then be sick to my stomach for the rest of the day.
Yeah, man.
Like it hits me really fast, really hard, and it takes me forever to get over it. So I don't play first person shooters. Like I can count on one hand the number of first person shooters since like 2000 that I've played. I could count on one hand the total number of them. And like I just don't do them. And so like I'm out of practice. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to the mechanics of them. I'm not used to like the game design philosophy of first person shooters.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of the reason why I played it on easy. And the fact that I didn't really have, except for a couple of specific points, the fact that I didn't really have a very hard time getting through the game is probably part of the reason I did enjoy it. But like, also a big part of it is because I think the writing is fun. I think the dialogue is cool. Very character-y moments. Mm-hmm. I think the plot is generally interesting. I think the graphics are cool. I like the way that the facility is designed from like a map design perspective. Like the game is very well made and very fun. And it, like you said, is it like an all-time like top 2 ever Alien game? Probably not. But I did have a very good time playing it and thought my time on it was very worth the time spent, which at the end of the day is all a video game needs to be,
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I loved it so much that I started pricing PlayStation VR 2s, and I was like, maybe I should try the VR version of this. Could you imagine? Could you imagine playing this in VR? Some of these moments, like it was so,
I can't.
It would be terrifying. Some of this shit, like it was effective without it for me.
Yeah,
I can't imagine how that would. I mean, look, guys, I'm kind of a wuss. We all know this. I've said it many times. Alien stuff, when done right, scares the shit out of me. That's why I'm so fascinated by this franchise.
Yeah, I mean, you've gone on record before as saying that you think the xenomorph as a concept is maybe the scariest movie monster of all time. So,
100%. And,
yeah,
and gave me nightmares as a child. And that's why I've kind of got this fixation with it.
yeah, that's why we're here. Yeah,
And there are moments in this game that we'll talk about towards the end that as we're experiencing them in the game, I'm thinking like, I'm kind of relieved I'm not playing this in VR, but also, what if I was playing this in VR right now? It would be like I was
yeah.
inside one of my literal childhood nightmares.
I was looking up the differences between the VR version and the non-VR version, and one of the differences they listed is that the VR version has a different set of trophies, well, achievements, whatever you want to call them,
Mhm.
and the reason why it has a different list of achievements is because some of the achievements were about in the VR version you had to grab something and pick it up and do something with it. And since you can't physically do that in the game,
Yeah.
they had to change the trophy to something else. And I
Okay.
thought that was really funny.
That's fun. Yeah, so it's safe to say you and I both recommend the heck out of this game. Again,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Chris said something on Discord when I mentioned I was playing this. He was like, "Is this the game that Colonial Marines should have been?" Yeah, I think so. I've played enough of Colonial Marines to say that this is the game that it should have been. Right. If you were disappointed by that game, which everybody seems to have been because that game is poorly coded, right?
Yeah.
I think pick this up. You're not going to be disappointed. It's not without its flaws, right?
For sure.
The Xenomorph AI, not the smartest AI in the world.
Not very good, yeah.
Not great, but it still works. Again, combat is not the focus of this game. The Xenomorphs are there to kind of disrupt your exploration, and there's enough of it, and it's tough enough that it makes getting through the game like it's a real obstacle to navigating through the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this game was just a good time.
For sure.
Way more fun than playing Aliens versus Predator Evolution or whatever on a phone would have been, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, AVP Evolution isn't even a terrible game, but this game was a lot more fun than that one is, yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. I've played, listen, so on the subject, we've played, what have we played on this show? Alien Trilogy, Alien Resurrection. I'll throw Alien Resurrection can sit in that conversation too. I'm trying to think of stuff where you play sort of as the Marine with the pulse rifle, right?
The DS one that Cooler Bot's from.
Isolation, Infestation.
Infestation. There we go. I was gonna say Infection, but yes, Infestation.
Okay.
You play as a whole squad of Colonial Marines in that one.
Yeah. If I'm going to go through the list of like first person shooters,
that's
Marine-based first-person shooters that I've played. Right, we start with Alien Trilogy, which I think did a great job of capturing the aesthetic at the time that it was made. Right,
for sure. Yeah,
and then the various AVP games. Again, I haven't spent enough time with 2000, but I played so much of Alien versus Predator 2 from like 2002 or 3 or whatever, the follow-up to that classic game.
Yeah.
The 2010 AVP game, Colonial Marines. I do think that this one stands at the top, which, you would expect from the most modern game, but that isn't always how things shake out, right?
For sure.
So they did something right. And I do think that adding in all of that stuff, all of that exploration, interaction, suspense stuff borrowed from Isolation really helped.
And that's the shit that makes me like the game so much.
Yeah.
Like if it was just a straight shooter where you were just fighting off, hordes and squads of xenomorphs over and over again, that's the type of shit that I would have been like, okay, I'm bored. But the fact that they did put so much focus on like collectibles and exploration and things like that. That's the reason, like that huge focus, along with the fact that you still regularly get to shoot xenomorphs.
Yeah.
Those two things, the way they combine them together, like the amounts, the balance between the two of them, is a big part of what I like so much about this game.
Yeah. It reminds me of Doom 3 a bit.
All right.
And
I don't think I've played 3 specifically, so.
Yeah, and I am kind of thinking mostly in the AI, the way the enemies work, you know. They're not super complex in the way that they move and their actions and things. They just they do end up having a pattern once you figure it out, right?
Gotcha.
And they do end up kind of just feeling like they're there to be a nuisance as you're trying to navigate this facility. And Doom 3 was definitely trying to go for like a horror survival element, also like the scarcity of ammo and things like that as well. Although there sure is a lot of it sprinkled around in this game once you know how to look for it.
Yeah, not only is there a whole lot of ammo spread around, but also one thing I noticed is that the ammo placement is not randomized, but the type of ammo you get is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, uh-oh, because there were some points where I was like, I have like 4 shells left of my shotgun, and I am standing in a room that is trying to give me a total of roughly 85 revolver bullets.
Lot of revolver.
But I'm already full on my revolver.
A lot of revolver ammo sitting around. I left
a lot of
revolver
ammo.
Yeah.
Whole lot of revolver ammo. They were expecting you to be using this revolver a lot more than I personally ended up using it.
Yeah, but I think that was thematic, right? It was like, these are the guns that they had on the facility, right? They had a lot of revolvers, you know. So
yeah, for sure.
One thing about it is this is a mild spoiler, so I'm going to be vague about this. There's the part where Zula gets separated from her rifle and then gets her rifle back, and then you end up backtracking through areas you've already been. And I was kicking myself for snatching up all that ammo I had already gone through that area, because I was like, boy, now there's not much for me to pick up now, and I could really use some ammo.
Well, it's fine. I mean, you got another gun already by that point, so it's okay.
Yeah. And the weapons it's limited, right? I mean, there's the pulse rifle, there's the shotgun, there's the revolver, 3 guns, and then there's grenades. Grenades, the kind of
the
proximity grenades.
Yeah, grenades they're like sticky grenades in that you can like attach them to a wall when you throw them, but like they create like this big like green sphere around them, and when an enemy walks into it, they're like proximity mines and they blow up.
Yeah. I got one stuck.
And
I got one stuck to a door.
Oh, nice.
If those don't blow up, you can pick them up and reuse them, which is nice.
You sure can.
But I got one stuck to a door in a way that then I couldn't get it off the door because you could only close the door from the other side. So,
oh well.
Yeah. So then I just had this glowing sphere around this one door that I kept walking past, and I was like, man, I just want my grenade back.
But yeah, there's according, like, not counting grenades, according to the weapon wheel, there are 4 weapons in the game, but in actuality, there's 3 weapons. But let's be real, there's only 2.
Yeah, pretty much. I did use the revolver a few times because out of necessity. But also sometimes out of curiosity. Same in Fireteam, where sometimes I just got to pull out that sidearm, you know, show off a little.
I did use the revolver because there is an achievement for killing 30 xenomorphs with the revolver. So I bust out that revolver and got 30 kills with it, and then immediately switched back to the pulse rifle after that.
Nice. I don't think I got 30 kills with the revolver because I only used it when I had to. Or I used it out of curiosity at first, and then I was like, okay, well, good. This will put some down if I have to. And then I got low on ammo, and then I was like, oh fuck, I gotta use the revolver. That's all I got. I really got.
But yeah, you have like you said, you have your pulse rifle, you have a shotgun that you find, and then you have a revolver that you also find, and then the fourth item on the weapon wheel is the torch welder or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Which you used to
Um, that
cut through doors that have
that
been
you,
sealed up, cut into
yeah, I can't remember.
lockers,
Yeah, that guy, whatever that thing is called, and
plasma
you
torch.
can't plasma torch. There we go. And you can't. I mean, it's on the weapon wheel, but that's because when you equip it, it just you pull it out instead of whatever gun you have equipped, so it's
Yeah.
classified as a weapon, and you can use it to attack xenomorphs, but you can't kill anything with it. And
Yeah.
there actually is an achievement for attacking a xenomorph with the plasma torch.
Oh, nice. I wonder if I got that because I
Yeah.
definitely used it by accident once, but I don't know if I actually hit the thing.
But yeah, but there's like I said, there's technically four weapons because the plasma torch is a weapon, but that's not actually a weapon. So you have your rifle, your shotgun, and your revolver. But your revolver is like last resort. I'm about to die. It's not a feasible weapon to use in regular everyday combat in this game. So really, you have the shotgun and the rifle,
Pretty
and
much.
those are your weapons.
Um,
I mean, the shotgun isn't bad, but to be honest, why you would ever use the shotgun over the rifle is unfathomable to me because the plasma rifle has 99 shots per round or per clip, and you can hold 5 clips. You can carry a grand total of 30 shotgun shells. So why would you ever use
Yeah.
anything other than the plasma rifle?
well, I used it a few times. Sometimes, we mentioned that on the difficulty I played at, they'd send xenomorphs at you, and mostly in pairs when they discover you, sometimes 3 at a time. I think that was more towards the end of the game. And then sometimes there were scripted situations where an alarm or something goes off and it's like, oh, they're heading towards you, and they're going to send like a batch of them. I don't know, 8 or 10 or whatever number of it, right? And the fucking xenomorphs do, like, when they are actually attacking you, they're either going to strike down at you from the ceiling, and again, 2 hits are going to kill you, or they're going to jump down on the floor and then jump at you, right? But it's so hard to watch in front of you and above you and behind you all at the same time that my strategy always became find a place with a low ceiling that doesn't have the vents and catwalks that they can crawl across where you can't see them, and just like get my back against a safe wall and sort of let them come at me. And
that's what I did, especially at the one at the end of the game.
Right.
That's as far as I'm going with the description of specifically what. But I found like a little open side panel nearby a locked door, and there was only the one doorway in and out of the room, and so I just stood back there with my gun and just went digga 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 every single time one passed by the doorway.
Right. But they would come in groups, so sometimes you needed the shotgun. I needed the shotgun just for crowd control a little bit, right? Just because it takes a couple seconds to put them down with the pulse rifle. The shotgun, you can knock them back, Yeah. And that's when I was using the shotgun, also, and then I'd be switching back and forth between the two.
It is also extremely satisfying to blow a xenomorph directly in the face with a very close shotgun blast.
Yeah, it is.
Because that MF is like, and goes flying. It's great.
And that's the trick. And we all know that that's the trick, is that you got to aim for the head. You got to headshot these motherfuckers.
That's right. That's right.
That's how you put them down.
One thing I also did appreciate is that every single xenomorph in this game, when you kill him, if you walk over his body, you take damage.
Yes. They fall.
The game remembered that xenomorphs have acidic blood.
Yes, they do melt into the floor and disappear eventually. I mean, pretty quickly. But if you don't wait for that, you will take acid damage, just like in Fireteam. And I think they do. Yep. The FPSs are pretty good about remembering that as well. It's mostly the movies that seem to forget that rule.
Yeah, pretty much. That's correct.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I appreciated that too. There's no what I found curious, there's no real jump button, right? Now,
There isn't.
it makes sense a little bit for Zula's character because she famously has suffered like a major spinal injuries and has sort of like limited mobility. That's part of her character story. Well, limited mobility is one thing. So I guess maybe she can't jump that well. She can like, but if you
That's
like,
fair.
if you dash, she can like jump over gaps and like, missing catwalks and things like that here and
Yeah,
there.
you automatically jump across small gaps if you hit them while you're running. Yes.
Yeah. And there's a dash
But
button.
like that's about it.
There's a dash button to dash, like dodge forward, to the directions forward, back, left, right, etc. And you can dash over the acid to, keep moving if you need to, which is nice. She can duck, etc. But yeah, there's the movement controls are not. It's not again. We're not talking Doom here, where you can double jump and air dash and all of that kind of cool shit.
Yeah.
They do, and I think that helps keep it grounded until you get to areas where there's a ledge that is the same height as the other ledges that you can pull yourself up on, but because it doesn't have that yellow stripe on the front of it, you can't pull yourself up on it, and it's just the game trying to make you take another route around the garage to get up to an area.
Yep, that is correct. It does that a lot.
That's when I get a little frustrated. I'm like, come on, that's when it feels tedious to me as opposed to immersive, right? Because I'm like, if this were like, she could climb up this, she can climb up, she's climbed up other areas, she could climb up this area. Why are you making me walk all the way around?
And she also provably, we visibly in first person see her do some crazy climbing near the end of the game.
Oh yeah, we do. So
we know that she can do it. So there's no in-game reason why the game doesn't let you do it. The game just, like you said, wants to give you a more complicated way around to make the game a little bit longer and give you some more gameplay.
Give you more chances to get attacked by X-rays.
Just like how there's one point where you have to go to the mess hall, and then after you get there, some stuff happens. Then later on, you have to go to the mess hall again.
Yeah.
And the way on the way to the mess hall the first time, you have to take a long non-circuitous way around because like the direct path there is locked.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out an alternate way around that, requires you going to take the elevator to a different floor, go through 3 other rooms, find a staircase that takes you to another staircase, and then you can get down into the mess hall. The problem is that you have to take that weird long ass route to get there the first time, but also every single other time as well. Even after the game was oh, we're gonna pad out this section of the game by giving you forcing you to take a longer way around, they never open up a shortcut in times after that. So it always becomes that complicated to get to that entire section of the facility every single time you need to go there, and that was kind of annoying to me.
It was. Some of the back and forth got a little tedious towards the end for me. But not enough to ruin the experience for me. Still, there was.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I still really like the game. I mean, it's not perfect, but these are the ways it's not. I do have complaints about it,
Yeah,
so.
the map is small enough that once you learn the routes, it doesn't bother you so much, and you do get better tools, right? There's not much, but you have the pliers that you rewire junction boxes with, and then you get an upgraded version of that later, and then there's different junction boxes you can mess with, and so there are different and your PDT card gets upgraded. So as you re-explore these areas, there end up being new rooms you can open along the way. And that helps. That sort of takes away. That gives you a reason to walk back through these areas as the game is making you walk back through them. It's giving you stuff to do as you go. Right.
And luckily, sometimes some of those rooms are shortcuts. Some of them aren't, but some of them are.
Yeah. And oftentimes you want to raid those rooms anyways because you're kind of low on resources on those stim packs or whatever, your health, that you need, your needles that you need to shoot yourself up with to feel better.
Yeah.
What a medicine, man.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
There's no way that's good for you in the long term, right?
Just stab that MF directly in the forearm. Oh yeah, there's no way that Zula's not feeling the effect of me having her use like 40 of them or whatever.
God, it was probably at the end of the game. I think I had to use like 6. And I didn't know I was at the end of the game, and I was like, I'm fucked now. I'm like out of these things, and then I was able to finish the game. You only carry 3.
Yeah, what's great?
Only carry 3 at a time, and I was like, okay, good. There's a stash here, and there's a stash there, and you can run around and kind of grab them as the action is happening real quick if you're smart and you prep and open all the lockers and all the suitcases and stuff as you go. But yeah, I was like, damn, I've used up everything in this place. Uh-oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah, and it's great too because like each stim usage refills your health to the maximum. And because this game is short enough, you can't like upgrade it or anything.
Right.
So the amount of health you have is just how much health you have to work with. And since your stims like, automatically fully refill your health. It's not like how in Resident Evil, like a green herb will refill like, 40% of your health or whatever. No, it automatically gives all of it back to you. So if you walk up and there's like a stim pack sitting there and you're full of them, but you're missing 1 HP of health, there is no reason not to just use a stim pack and replace it with the one in front of you. 'Cause now you have full health and you still have full stims as well.
Yeah, I tried not to do that too much as I was getting deeper because I was like, this is gonna screw me over if I do this too often. I tried to wait until I was like at least in the yellow or like getting close to the bottom of the yellow. But then
that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. Good game though. Fucking rad game.
Hell yeah.
Really fun. Really immersive. Just a blast. So our recommendation is if you've been on the fence about this one, go fucking play it, guys. Go play it.
Yeah.
If there's a VR version, good fucking luck. But
yeah,
there's a non-VR version. We can all play this, right?
We sure can.
Do it.
Yeah, following up on what I said earlier about how I have a problem playing games in first person, the reason why I was able to play through this one is because I found out that if I play the game on a small screen, it doesn't give me motion sickness. And so that is the reason I bought a Steam Deck, was so I can finally play all these first person shooters that I've never had the chance to play before.
Yeah, so go get a Steam Deck, everybody.
That's right. Go buy a fucking Steam Deck. You heard it here first. Yeah. They rock. They're so good.
Yeah, man. I had a blast.
I love that fucking thing. Anyway. Yeah, the game's good. It's real good.
Solid game to really break in my new PlayStation 5 with. Mm-hmm. With a new experience.
Speaking of which, how did the game look like graphically speaking on the PS5 on that nice big screen?
It looks great. It looks really good. Cool. Looks good. I don't know.
I don't remember. Well, the reason I ask is because I don't remember thinking the graphics were anything special. Like, It's not that they looked bad, but I wasn't like super wowed by them. I was just like, oh yeah, this is just like a modern day, like, IP based first person shooter. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about right. Nothing absolutely blew me away. Again, it looks like Aliens, right? It looks like you're going through Hadley's Hope to me. I mean, it's not a carbon copy, right? It's not specific. It definitely isn't. It's not specific details from that game put in this one, and they definitely made Purdan its own world, right? Like it's a silica salt based planet. So when you're outside on the planet's surface, it looks like a snowstorm, but it's a salt storm. It's blowing everywhere. Your vision is all obscured. It makes it real hard to see xenomorphs out there. But there's like those space trucks that we love and
Yeah.
freight crates and everything everywhere. But it's got that Aliens aesthetic that that I think we all love. Maybe we don't. I don't know.
I mean, maybe there's some haters out there that can't stand Alien and still listen to the show anyway.
Yeah.
If so, what up? What the hell you doing, dog?
It felt like it was giving me it felt like maybe they were a bit inspired by the colony scenes, the stuff we saw in Romulus a little bit, right? That kind of architecture and grime a bit.
Yeah.
But you get inside the facility and you've got your homemade barricades trying to, block off hallways and all of that, just like we saw in Aliens. You've got the doors look familiar, the floors, the ceilings, all of that. It looks
doors welded shut.
Doors welded shut. You got to cut them open. Yeah. The same way that Isolation looked like Alien, this game looks like Aliens, expanded and made larger, and it took what was in the movie and it made it extrapolated from there. And graphically and stuff, you're asking the wrong guy, because I don't fucking care. It worked. Fair. It worked on me.
All right, cool.
Yeah, looks.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought the game looked completely fine. I also wasn't super wowed by the graphics, but I was like, yeah, this is totally like good utilitarian. It looks like the shit it's supposed to look like. I can distinguish things and tell stuff apart, but the graphics just themselves didn't really like wow me. But yeah, I thought the game was fine. So
I think
in that regard,
I think you said it perfectly. It looks like the shit it's supposed to look like.
Yeah,
that's it. 100%.
That's right.
It looks like the shit is supposed to look like, guys. What do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing fancy. It shows up and it does the job, and you're like, okay, yes, I know what that is. I'm able to distinguish the various elements of the scene apart from each other. Cool.
Yeah. So just enjoy it. If you're a nerd who's like, this doesn't have the 120 hertz refresh rate and 8K 900p.
Yeah. If you're like that, my response to that is shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this if that's
right, I'm going hard on that shit.
If that's your benchmark for what games you play, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to listen to this show and get two people that agree with you on that point, because that's the type of shit that we do not care about.
No, and yeah, I got nothing else. I don't know. I was gonna follow it up with that's it. That's my feelings.
Cool.
Yeah. So, should we talk a little bit now about, is this where we should break and get into some of the more specific spoilers?
I was just about to ask you, do we want to get into the spoiler stuff and get into what happens in the actual story then in that case?
I think so. So everybody, if you're listening, if you heard everything we said up to this point and you're like, damn, this game sounds rad, I want to play it myself, we're about to spoil some shit. So we'll see you next time on Crew Expendable, crewexpendable.net, etc.
That's right.
From here on out, we are going to go into storyline spoilers, and there are some good ones, and we don't want to ruin the experience for you. So, spoiler alert, from here on out, stop listening. We'll be back next week, next episode, with the Alien versus Predator movie. All right.
See ya.
Everybody's been warned. We're in spoiler territory now.
Cool.
Kenny, I almost immediately spoiled things by having my designation be severed synthetic head Hallstrom.
I when we were talking about the parts of the game where you can like carry stuff around and pick stuff up, I kept on wanting to be like, you carry around a severed head, for instance.
That was not the first big spoiler, but that was the first time when I was playing the game where I was like, damn, there's a whole nother mechanic in this thing where we're going to have to manage stuff from time to time, isn't there? We're going to have to carry stuff around and still deal with xenomorphs and shit.
To me, the moment where you have to carry around Davis's severed head for like a level and a half, that was the moment where I went, "Oh, this game is doing something special." Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, that was
So,
stressful.
so basically, the gist of the plot up to that point is that you're wandering around the facility, and then for a reason I don't remember, Davis suddenly shows up. He had been on the ship, and then you just like open a door and he's just like standing there, and you're like, what the hell are you doing here? And like I said, he gives a reason I don't remember, and then he has his trusty shotgun and he's following you around, and you end up in the mess hall. And
Yeah.
then the game does something really cool that I genuinely didn't expect. You get trapped in the mess hall and you get attacked by literally infinite xenomorphs.
Yeah.
Davis gets killed, and you fight, and the game assumes that you don't know what's supposed to happen next,
Yeah.
and so the game operates under the assumption that you're going to keep fighting, because maybe you're waiting for something to happen or whatever. And so you, as the player, keep doing that. One of your guns runs out of ammo. Oh no. The shotgun you have, which is the one that or no, sorry, you don't have the shotgun
No,
yet.
you don't
You
have it
still
yet.
have the pulse rifle. And so you're using the pulse rifle. Oh no, the ammo runs out. So you go to your grenades. Oh no, I can only hold 3 of those. You're getting attacked by xenomorphs and you're running around the mess hall, and you can't find any more grenades, and you're like, oh no, I don't have any ammo. And so the xenomorphs eventually kill you. And so when they do, I went, oh okay, and I set down my Steam Deck waiting for the game over screen to come up, and then the game fades to black, and then it fades back in, and I was like, oh shit, that was a scripted death sequence. Okay, fuck. And I pick my game back up, and then you yourself in first person are resined inside the wall of a xenomorph nest, and
Yep.
there are multiple, more than 6 multiple ovomorphs in front of you, and one by one each of them open up and a face hugger comes out. And then that's when you find out that you still have control of your character. And what's this? One of your hands has a revolver in it. So you pull out the revolver and start firing the face huggers, and even if you kill all 6 of them, click click, oh no, the revolver only has 6 bullets, and then a 7th face hugger comes out.
Yeah. I think I didn't experience it quite that way, Kenny, because I blew all of my bullets trying to kill the first one.
Oh, okay, cool.
And missed.
Well, there is a achievement for killing 6 face huggers during that sequence, 1 with each shot.
Nice.
But even if you kill all 6 of them, there's still a 7th one, so it doesn't actually matter whether you kill the face huggers or not. But yeah, this entire section of the game was an absolute fucking thrill ride to me. I thought it was so cool. Like, the hopeless fight against xenomorphs in the mess hall that you don't know at the time is hopeless until after the fact, and then the controllable helplessness of being stuck in first person in the wall of the hive was just great stuff. And
yeah, man.
Is this the first moment in the game where you get face hugged in first person?
It is, and it triggered this whole
It
sequence.
is, okay.
This whole sequence triggered real panic for me. Like, not to the point where I was like worried about my health or not, and not having a good time, but I was like, oh god, oh fuck, oh shit, oh god, I'm in a hive, oh god, they're coming, and I'm bam, 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 and I wasted all my bullets trying to kill one fucking face hugger because I was just shooting wildly because I was out of control again because of my deep rooted childhood fears, and it was effective as shit for me. It was
then we are treated to, listeners that are still here, and Neil, I suppose, for that matter, cast your minds back to the Alien Trilogy episode. And in that game, you can get face hugged. And in that episode, in like shitty PS1 pixel graphics, Neil was like, the moment where you get face hugged in first person was scary as shit. even to me with this really bad graphics.
Yeah.
Imagine how much worse it is when it's in high definition, baby.
Yeah, man. Ugh. Yeah, man. And
So yeah, you
Zula.
get face hugged in first person. Yeah, Zula gets face hugged, and then there is I mean, maybe not in this specific moment, but you can get face hugged later on in the game because they come back, and you literally button prompts come up on the screen where you literally by hand have to pry the face hugger off of your face
Yeah.
every single time it happens.
Yeah, man. It's wild.
It rocks. It's so fucking cool.
So after Zula's face hugged, she does get in radio contact while she's still in the hive with Davis, who is coming to her rescue. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. But she's able to break herself free from the resin because somebody webbed up next to her has the plasma torch, and this is how you get it in the game. She's able to wrangle it out of her hands and cut herself free. And then there's this really cool, creepy scene where she is able to walk out of the hive unarmed because her revolver's out of ammo, with no xenomorphs attacking her.
But key, there are still xenomorphs nearby. You can see them walking around. Some of them will even stand there and look at you as you walk by.
And if they and they do sort of guide your path, right? If you try to go certain ways, they will attack you to stop you from going certain ways. I realized, but they're just, you can watch them just like crawling along the walls. Some of them sort of reacting to you, none of them attacking you, because Zula's been implanted in this game. Zula is implanted like what, an hour and a half, 2 hours into this game, something like that. Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah,
ballpark. And she lets Davis know, not directly, but she's like, still in contact with him, and he's all fucked up. Something happened to him. So she gets to his location, and he's just beat to shit, right? He got down into the nest and got torn apart.
Yeah, he made his way down to where you were to rescue you and got like 98% of the way there, because you find him in the nest and he's like bent over backwards on top of like an old like computer pile monitor or something, and he's like, basically, I'm too damaged to be able to go on. And Zula's like, I'm not leaving you behind. And he's like, bitch, I never said you should leave me behind. What you should do is this long 4-letter technical term that I personally don't remember the name of, but in practical terms, it is cut my head off with a blowtorch. And I went, oh, hell yes.
Yeah. You remove his head and then you carry it with you to a synth repair facility. And then set him on a table, and again with button prompts. You don't set him on a table. You then shove his head down on 2 prongs, if I'm remembering correctly, like the neck hole down on 2 prongs.
Yeah, you impale the neck of his head onto a big spike,
and you're doing this with button prompts, taking leads and shoving them into his temples and then into his eye.
Literally like 6-inch long metal spikes. Via button prompts, you have to impale his head with big spikes in very certain spots, and whenever you do, he like twitches and shakes a little, and I was like, man, fuck off.
I know.
It was so fucking cool,
fucking
dude.
Gnarly. And then you download his consciousness into your iPad, into your terminal.
The one that I hinted at earlier, when you press the button to bring up the mini map and you have like your little computer that you're holding in the corner, you download his brain onto that.
And then you have a little glasses icon on it for the rest of the game.
You sure do.
And then he can communicate with you through the rest of the game through that. It's very fun. And again, can you just imagine Kenny doing that in VR? Right.
There is a trophy at this point in the game that I didn't get because I didn't know it existed. But when you're holding his head, if you walk up to one of the trash cans and throw his head into it, you get an achievement that's called like basketball or something like that.
Nice. That's fun.
But I wasn't able to get it. I didn't think to do that at the time.
Now,
But
now in this journey, when you're carrying his
Go ahead.
head, you get attacked. You have his shotgun. You finally got a weapon again. This is how you get the shotgun.
Yeah.
And you get attacked, so you oftentimes have to then put his head down or toss it to safety so you can operate the shotgun and kill all the
Yep.
xenomorphs attacking you, and then go pick his head up again and then continue on your journey.
Yeah, like Neil said, the shotgun that you get is Davis's shotgun that he had earlier on in the game, and it's great too because like you have the gun in one hand and his head in your other hand, but if you're using a weapon other than the revolver, if you try to shoot the gun, you drop the head to be able to hold the gun with your second hand. But what I like about like if you're holding the head and you open up the menu, you'll drop the head, but then when you close the menu, you automatically pick it back up.
Yeah.
Like you, the player, don't have to search around for it and hit the button. It just happens automatically when you close the map, which I thought was very useful and convenient of a function to do, you know?
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, man, that whole thing was intense. And so then you're walking through the rest of the game, knowing that Zula's got a chest burster inside her, right?
Mm-hmm. And storyline wise, right around this point, by Davis being uploaded onto your PDA, because your little terminal thing is also what you use to connect into the various terminals around the station. He can connect to like the station network infrastructure and pieces together that I don't remember exactly what, but he determines that GES has been doing some extremely illegal shit, but they can't call the space cops because like all the facilities communication systems are on like a site-wide lockdown, so they determine that they have to go down to wherever, I don't remember, that you have to go through like another series of like nested adventures, like finding the key to the door that I mentioned earlier to be able to get to like the communications array and turn them on to be able to send out a message to, hey, there's some freaky deaky shit going on here. And side note, the person you send that message to is of course your best friend Amanda Ripley.
Amanda Ripley gets a name drop. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, she doesn't have a cameo because you just send the message out. Because like even during the message, Zula is like, I got infected and I'm going to die. I will be dead before you ever even get this message. So Amanda herself doesn't show up, but she does get name dropped several times.
Yeah, man. So storyline wise, I could be wrong about this because I didn't read every message in every terminal, but from what I have gathered, and let me know if this tracks with you, this GES facility that took over after Weyland-Yutani abandoned their colonization, terraforming, mining operation because they determined Purdan to just be a dead rock, right?
Yeah.
GES came in and started experimenting with prosthetics and synthetics, right? There were several messages referring to their prosthetics division. There are synthetics all around the place. All around is a strong word. Early on in the game, you just find one that's kind of damaged, and you see some parts of them laying around. And then later on in the game, you see them walking around some.
Yeah, there's like I think 3 or 4 synths that aren't Davis in the game, something like that.
And then of course there's Helen. We'll talk about Helen later.
Yeah. We sure will.
Then at some point, another person comes in and sort of takes over and shifts their entire research division to some kind of bioengineering project. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
And I believe that this is BG Swift is what they call this organization or this project.
I believe so. Yeah.
and it's all very enigmatic, and you read in all of these terminal messages from basically everybody's emails, all of the problems that
Yeah.
are happening, and you read them out of order, right? There's essentially, as shit is going bad, people expressing concerns, and then shit going bad, and then people locking themselves in panic rooms, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
There's also messages about synthetics kind of like starting to go get a little weird and go a little crazy at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also pick up audio messages similar to the ones you can play in Alien Isolation and hear people's conversations, and you hear people talking about how they were doing experiments on cadavers in this bio project, like desiccating cadavers. They were lobotomizing people potentially. Essentially, you put together they were doing something like lobotomizing people or reanimating cadavers or something somehow to breed drones, to breed xenomorphs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, right around this point, it's not the first time it's been mentioned, but it's the first time it starts to become a regular topic of conversation in the plot, like between you and Davis, is they start having these conversations about, quote unquote, the saboteur.
Right.
And it's never really established or specified who it is, because like who the saboteur is becomes one of the big driving mysteries over the course of the last third or so of the game. But they posit that there is someone that I believe at one point it's implied that they're like a double agent, like they work for the either GES or BG Swift or whoever, but they're like working against their interests secretly, and it's believed that this saboteur is the person that introduced xenomorphs to this facility to begin with.
Right. And the whole time Zula's trying to find out what happened to her associate Benjamin Carver. You find some audio messages from him. She doesn't get any communications from him. She has no idea on his status, really.
He's mentioned in emails a lot, like the emails that you can read in the terminals. But some of the one thing I liked about those terminals or with the emails in them, is that some of these messages are like years old by the time you get them.
Right.
Like I remember that there were some messages where the date on them was 6 years prior to when the game took place. And I believe Carver is mentioned in those, but not in any of the more recent ones, if I recall. But I may not be recalling correctly because it's been over a week since I played it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, so you don't get a clear-cut answer to any of these things because, again, this is just part one of the game.
Yeah, for
right?
Sure.
But it's all very fun to just kind of read those things. I was enjoying it quite a bit, just trying to get a sense of what was going on and what was happening here, because we've got like this weird... There was one audio message I heard where it was like a woman answers a phone and it's like a robot voice asking her who it is, and then she says her name, and then the robot voice imitates her voice, like starts learning her voice, and she's like, who is this? And then the audio thing ends. So then there's like some kind of weird, again, like something weird going on with synthetics or something going on here imitating people. I don't know, man. It seems like there's a cool story here that I really hope gets.
That whole part, I didn't really know quite what to make of it. The explanation that I came up with for it in my own head, because I don't recall them ever being really like, oh, this is what the deal is it was either the saboteur trying to blackmail people into working for him, or a synth contacting people on behalf of the saboteur for that same reason.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know if they ever explain that. I think that's just like one of the threads that they're leaving dangling to answer in part 2. So I just kind of invented my own explanation, and that's the one I came up with, because it seemed to make sense to me that way. But yeah, I don't know actually what that was either, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun to have this mystery sort of surrounding all of the things you're doing here. whether it ends up all getting explained or not. I don't know how much I actually care at the end of the day because I don't need everything explained. I think it's just kind of fun to have this stuff around, right?
That's right.
All right. So further cool spoilery moments.
The next thing that happens is that, Zula sends the message to Amanda and then is like, okay, I think I've, come to terms with and accepted the fact that I'm going to die here via chestburster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this entire facility out with me by going back to the ship we arrived in and overloading the engines to just like thermobaric fire burn everything down.
Yes.
And
so
then something really weird happens. This is like how you mentioned that you got some wire clamps earlier. At this point in the game is right around where you get the second pair of wire clamps, and you get it by opening a box, and then a gas grenade goes off and sprays a whole bunch of smoke into your face.
Oh, yeah.
And then you cough and go and fall to the ground. And then Davis is like, dude, what happened? And you're like, don't worry about it. And then it never comes up again. I'm pretty sure I know what happens. I want to know what you think that was supposed to mean.
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was just kind of like a booby trap. I think I might have thought that she was experiencing something from the chest burster making her sick or something. I don't exactly remember.
I have a theory as to what it means,
okay,
but it ties into something that happens later on in the game, so I will wait until then to elaborate on it. Oh. But I believe there is an explanation.
Okay. There was another thing. Does it tie into this? Another one of the messages, they were talking about extracting, I think they were talking about extracting pathogen, basically, in something that I either read or listened to. From the creatures. They may not have used the word pathogen, right. But this book or this game was, I think, written by Alex White, who
it was, yeah.
They are the one who came up with the Plagiaris Praepotens thing that again was used in Alien Romulus, and this idea that
they wrote Into Charybdis, and what was the other book they wrote? Do you remember?
Cold Forge?
Maybe. Yeah, I know they wrote, I'm pretty sure they wrote Into Charybdis, though. They've written 2 alien novels, and I remember both of them were like pretty well liked. Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why they hired them to write the script for this game.
Yeah, and I think, well, and going down this route of the Plagiaris Praepotens and kind of unifying that with the concept of the pathogen and everything seems to be what makes the most sense for the uniting all of the, whether people like it or not. It seems to be what makes the most sense. It makes the most sense to me. Yeah, honestly,
I got you.
I don't know if that gas has anything to do with that. If there was like the weaponized version, but it didn't have any effect on Zula because she's already got one of these things knocking around inside her. But
so, you finally get the gold-plated wire pinchers, and then so you have to go back to the ship, i.e. the beginning of the game, and on the way back, now that you have the gold-plated ones, you can finally open up all of those junction boxes that you came across in the beginning of the game. Neil, you said you were trying to rush through the game. Did you ever open any of those?
Any of the gold-plated ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I opened several.
Okay. I think I opened all of them. I'm not sure, but I think I did. Every single one of them, you open them up and you get attacked by a horde of facehuggers that were hiding inside of them.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely happened to me a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them have facehuggers in them. And then what's great is when you kill the facehuggers, it summons drones. So you have to kill the facehuggers, and then drones show up to try to kill your ass because you're killing the damn facehuggers. Jeez. And so you make it back to the ship.
I gotta play this game again.
You are you are introduced to a character that has been mentioned in audio logs and emails before, but this is the first time we've seen her on screen. She is another synth whose name is Helen, who
Yes.
runs like the port in and off of the facility.
I
And
I loved this. I
go ahead.
forget. So Helen mistakes you for, I forget the name.
She mistakes you for a scientist that's working on the project, but that is because in order to get through a locked door, you had to get like this doctor's ID card. But
Yes.
since it's like, but since it bio scans rather than just scans the ID, Davis had to hack into the system and change the scientist's bio signature to you so
Right.
that it would read correctly, and so that's why Helen calls you by this doctor's name.
Yeah, I loved that so much. I thought that was so fun that she like doesn't look like recognize you by sight. She just recognizes you by your bio data and just
Yeah, it's great too
yeah.
because like there's even a point in a conversation with her where you're something like, "Oh, you're not quite what I was expecting," and she's like, "And all of your biological signatures are completely different than what I recall, but yet here you are."
Yes. Very
I
fun.
I really like Helen a lot. She's very cheery and fun. Like when you show up and ask her why she's there, she's like, "Oh, the ship crashed, and us and our me and my army of synths came here to dismantle the ship because it's not supposed to be here." And
Yes.
you're just like, "Oh God, all right, fine."
Yeah. I didn't trust Helen one fucking bit. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This is
Interesting.
not, nope. I
Interesting.
don't trust you, Helen. I don't trust what's going on here. And that's just me.
Yep.
That's just me, guys.
And it is just you because spoiler alert, she turns out to be trustworthy.
She does, but I don't think the game is supposed to. But Zula doesn't even fully trust her, right? Because as your
That's true.
journey with Helen goes on, Zula is still like skeptical of this, and there's plenty of times where Davis is like, I think she's kind of suspicious of what's going on, so you better just play along with
Yeah.
what she's saying, or else she's gonna get like real suspicious. And then you're
Yeah,
so
because
like,
basically
you got to play her game a little
ahead.
bit.
Yeah, because basically what happens is you go up to Helen and you're like, basically what I need to do is, long story short, overload the engine. And she goes, "But if you do that, it'll explode." And you're like, "Yeah, I know. Just let me do it."
Yeah,
And so
It's like,
Davis is basically
tell her
Davis
like
is
my
basically
reasons
like,
are classified or whatever. Like,
yeah, and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's fair." And that's around the point where Davis is like, she's starting to get suspicious of you, so just do what she says. And so you have to go get these two specific conduit parts, and you have to go back into the facility and run around and collect them from other synths. And then you bring them back, attach them into like this terminal outside of the ship, and then the game makes it extremely clear that activating the terminal is the end of the game, and the game ends after you do that.
Yeah.
Like to the point where the I'm trying to find it right here. The objective literally becomes activate the control panel and say goodbye, like to the point where literally the objective is like you are about to die. And so you activate it, and then it summons a horde of xenomorphs, because anytime an alarm goes off, it always does. And then
Yep.
just as it's about to overload, it stops. And then you go in and you talk to Helen. You're like, "What the hell just happened?" She goes, "Oh, that thing was about to explode and we don't want that, so I turned it off."
Yeah.
And then Davis is like, "How the hell was she able to do that?" And so you're like, "Wait a minute, I thought that communication lockdown prevented updates from external sources. How were you able to do that?" And she goes, "Oh, someone like not manually, but someone like digitally like pushed through one directly to me specifically." And you're like, "What?"
The saboteur.
Yeah, presumably. And so, as they said earlier, when the core overloads, if it doesn't blow up, it has to take time to cool down to be able to heat back up again. And so that's the in-game explanation for why you have to go find. I don't remember what. Oh yeah, Helen says that the update gave her the ability to control the surgical lab in the
Yes.
facility, and she's like, you have an alien life form in your body. And Davis is like, you should absolutely take this offer to remove it, because it is bullshit that you don't want it removed.
Yeah.
And Zula's like, God, okay, fine.
Yeah. I
And
like
so
that.
since it's going to take the core a little while to get back to overheating temperatures, you decide to accept the help and head into the facility again to get this thing surgically removed. Go ahead.
I like that Davis. I mean, Zula's like really pushing. I don't fully understand why she's pushing, because like there's been multiple times where she's hinted that she's not going to try to do anything about this. She's just going to accept her fate. And Davis is like,
Yeah.
like, you kill so many xenomorphs. Like it is a net loss if you die here. Right, like you should survive.
Like this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Like your life is best served by continuing to be alive to kill more xenomorphs. You are literally throwing your life away. And she's like,
Right.
shut up.
And we've seen these teases again, things through terminals and whatnot about med pods and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's I saw it coming. Right. I saw
For sure.
and walking through medical and all of that stuff, right? You kind of see this stuff; it's around. So, also, like, are they really going to kill Zula Hendricks in a VR game? I mean,
especially in a part 1 of a 2-part game,
yeah. But Helen also mentions at one point in these conversations that there's an extremely large life form that has taken out multiple synthetics, right?
Yeah, and it's stomping around, but they very specifically state that it's on the other end of the facility, so it's not something we need to worry about. But yeah, there's some big alien stomping around, and you go, oh boy, let's go.
Hell yeah.
And then you make it to the facility, and then there's some more like grabbing conduits and changing power lines and some more gameplay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally you get into where the med pod is. And Neil, let me ask you a question.
Oh yeah. What's up?
Do you remember in the 2012 Ridley Scott directed film Prometheus?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember during the climax of the movie when the main character gets an emergency C-section via MedPod?
I do.
Okay, now imagine that, but imagine it's happening to you and the game is in first person, so you're watching that emergency alien C-section happen to yourself.
Yeah, yes, with some other things going on around you, mind you.
Yeah, while you're stuck in the med pod and the only thing you can do is look around,
We should say real
Go
quick.
ahead.
The med pod is a room. It's not a small coffin-like thing like in Prometheus. This med pod is
it sort of is. It locks you in, but it's like strapped inside of a room. It's not like an iron lung type thing where you can wheel it around. It's like attached,
Yeah, but it's inside a room and you're strapped into this thing. And you're able to see a window. You're able to see Helen doing the operation, and you're still kind of like, I swear to God, Helen, if you kill me, I'm gonna fucking kill you, right?
Yeah.
And she starts and you're like, no. She's like trying to sedate you, and you're like, no, don't sedate me. Just local anesthetic only.
Local anesthetic only.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And so you're like gritting your teeth and going, ow, 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 the whole time. And then like a laser cuts you open and like a surgical hand reaches in and like roots around in your organs. And you're like, ow, this hurts so fucking much. Ow, 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 ow. And then Helen starts talking to you and you look up at her and she's watching you through the big like view screen. And then as you're looking at her, that gigantic life form she mentioned stomps up behind her, picks her up by the head, and just crushes her head with one hand and tosses her body away.
Yes.
And then it looks down directly at you, and you go, oh no, I'm strapped in this machine and can't fucking move.
Yes, and there's a goddamn Praetorian headed to kill me.
It sure is. This MF is like 12 feet tall, has a queen crest, has a like 10-foot long tail. This motherfucker is huge, and he looks so cool. And when he stomped up, I went, oh, hell yes.
Yes. So.
Oh, one other side note. The C-section surgery goes correct.
Yes.
Goes off without a hitch and works. But to the confusion of everyone, when they pull the chest burster out of you, it's already dead. And both you and Davis are like, huh, that's weird.
Oh.
The reason I'm bringing this up now is because it's implied that gas blast you got hit by earlier killed the face hugger in you.
So that's
killed the chest burster.
So you think maybe that's what the research is? They're researching how to
I didn't personally come across it, but
That's
I saw
interesting.
reports online that somebody noticed that there was an email in the game somewhere that implied that you can use some kind of like gas or particle thing that is like an effective killer of xenomorphs, but like more research is necessary or whatever. And you find that either right before or right after you get hit by the gas attack in the game.
Okay.
So the implication is that somebody put that there knowing that you were face hugged and killed the chest burster for you to save your life so that you can continue on and do whatever you're going to do there.
Oh,
that's
pretty
the
dope.
implication, but the game never specifically says it. I didn't piece this together until after the fact, and I was looking around theories about it online, and somebody posited that, and I went, oh, okay.
I buy it. I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
So that's part of the research that they're doing here is how to maybe combat and control these things as well, right? Like
Presumably,
find a cure for them is, similar to one of the stories we read in the Ultimate Prey story, right?
Yeah.
The
yeah.
antibiotic or whatever people were taking. Not the antibiotic, but you know what I'm saying. The drug people were taking and they were getting sick from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
I believe that was from Night Doctors, if I recall.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
So then
No, you know what? I don't like that.
Go ahead.
You know what that means? That means there's going to be things in part 2 where you get face hugged again, and then you're going to have to go find gas and breathe it in.
Yeah, probably.
I don't like that at all.
Anyway, long story short, while you're sitting there stuck in the med pod, the Praetorian comes into the room. Luckily, right before that is when you finally got detached from it. And spoiler alert, folks, this is the final boss fight of the game.
This is.
The Praetorian shows up, and you have to chase it around and trap it inside of the med pod room so that you can use the sanitation lasers to burn it away and turn it into ash, which works. And then you go, oh, cool. And then turn around and then you get attacked by a whole swarm of regular xenomorphs. And you go, okay, cool. Now what? And then when that happens, you find out that it actually didn't work.
Yeah.
And the Praetorian rips the door open and comes at you and attacks you again. And now we're in stage 2 of the final boss fight.
Yeah. So I thought it was fun and clever to trap the Praetorian in the room and hit the purge cycle. I thought that was clever and fit in with the game really well, because this is that leaned more into like a survival horror answer to this thing that is so armored, it's resisting the shots from your rifle and everything, and just can't be because our firepower is not doing enough. We have to do something else. Hey, maybe we can do this, and you do it, and it works. You think
Yeah,
it works?
the only thing you have access to that's powerful enough to kill it is these decontamination lasers, and it's even like it never even occurs to you to use them as a weapon. The Praetorian busts in and you go, "Oh shit," and you start running around the interconnected rooms while it's chasing you, and you're like, "Davis, I need a fucking way to kill this thing. I need something right goddamn now."
Yeah.
And he goes, what about the lasers? And you go, "Ah!" And so you run over and trap it in there. And it's great too, because like every time when you do, it closes the shutters, sealing the room in,
Yeah.
which later on, when you use it against the Praetorian, hides the fact that it's not actually dead until it bursts through the door and you go, "Oh no."
Right. So I liked that. I liked that. I thought that was clever. And then sending a shit ton of xenomorphs after you when, if you're like me, you're pretty low on ammo and resources at this point, and there aren't a ton around
Yep.
the room anymore because you wasted
Unless you like revolvers.
a bunch trying to kill this thing at first to no avail.
Yeah.
So then you are kind of backed into a corner. You got some grenades. There's some grenades you can refill with because I didn't use a whole lot during the game. There's a little bit of ammo around that I was able to find, but you got a whole lot of xenomorphs to fight. So I had to back myself in a corner and shotgun, expend the rest of my shotgun ammo and blast these guys away. And I was like, damn, that was a good finale. And then he busts out the door again. And the way they want you to handle him now is this got a little cheesy for me. I'm not going to lie. Where they were like, "Oh, he's exposed the failsafe or whatever is exposed. The lasers have exposed gas lines throughout the room you're in now."
Yeah, the laser has cut open a huge, giant, gaping wound on the Praetorian's chest. And then it comes out the room and starts attacking you and following you around, dashing you around, trying to cut you up. But this attack also exposes a bunch of panels all over the walls and ceiling that have like exposed gas main lines. And so what you have to do is shoot one of those so that it blows out and explodes next to the Praetorian, stunning him, and then you run up to him and just unload your clips directly into his chest cavity until he staggers, and then you just do that until he finally dies.
Yeah. And this was I didn't like this, I'll be honest. It was too video game boss fight for me for a game that has been striving for a lot of quote unquote realism, right? Throughout. This was gimmicky. Also, I did the first gas line right as he was walking up the stairs. And then I just threw my grenades, which also stagger him, and shot him, and then threw the next grenade, staggered him, shot him, the next grenade. I did it 3 times and he was dead. It was not a challenge at all.
It never even occurred to me to use the grenades, dude.
It was not.
It literally never even occurred to me.
So it ended up feeling extremely underwhelming. It ended up feeling too much like a video game when the rest of the game didn't have anything like this.
Bro, do you want to know how much it never occurred to me to do that? I played the game on easy, and I died 9 times during this section of the fight.
Oh my God, really?
Like during the second half where you have to stun him with explosions, I literally died 9 times. And by the way, spoiler alert, when you die during that section of the boss fight, you know where it starts you off? It starts you off in the section in between the 2 sections of the boss fight, right before you have to fight off the swarm of xenomorphs.
Oh, geez.
So I also had to do that every single time too.
That kind of breaks the momentum.
Yeah, it was the one part of the game that actually really pissed me off. I don't know why I do know why I was having such a hard time. It's because when you shoot the gas main lines, they take about a second and a half to explode.
Yeah.
So you can't shoot them when he's already standing right underneath them. And if he's away from you, if you get a certain distance away from the Praetorian, he will use like a dash forward attack to attack you. And so what would happen every single time is I'd be standing there and I'd have my gun pointed at the gas main, and I was like, all right, man, like 2 more steps and then I can fire this. And then I'll fire this, and then as soon as I do, he dashes at me, passing right underneath it, and so now he's in front of me before it explodes.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason why I kept dying, except for the time when, the 2 or 3 times when I did catch him in a gas main explosion, but I was too close and died myself in the explosion as well.
Okay.
That also happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, despite playing on easy, I died 9 times during the second section of the boss fight, and I was like, man, this Praetorian can get fucked. But finally I killed him. Finally.
I just tried the grenade out on a whim and it staggered him, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just do it with the rest of my grenades, and I'll go grab those grenades by the door that I hadn't picked up because I was full on grenades, and then that was it. And so go ahead. It was just a little underwhelming, and it was just a little too video game boss fight for me. It didn't match the rest of the game for me. Not that I hated it or anything. I just wished it had been. I think it would have been more fun if it had just been stage 1 and then the horde of xenomorphs. I think that would have been kind of cool. Especially since this is just part 1, and then you could think that maybe this Praetorian is going to be something that's going to stalk you in the next part of the game if it survived. I don't know.
One thing that thematically I do appreciate about it is that this game is a combination between survival horror and shooter, and phase 1 of the boss fight is the survival horror boss fight, right, and phase 2 of the boss fight is the shooter boss fight.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I get what you're saying.
This is not me trying to convince you that's good, because the fact that I died so many times against it makes me go, man, fuck phase 2 of this fight.
Yeah.
But I get you.
It just felt a little underwhelming for what ended up being the end of the game, because I wasn't expecting that to be the end of the game still. I thought there was going to be, there's got to be something else now. Right.
Basically what happens is that you kill the Praetorian, and then you get a communication over your radio, and turns out it's Ben Carver who's alive and in the facility, and both you and Davis are like, oh, holy shit, what? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm hiding out down on the 6th basement floor of the facility. And you're like, there isn't a 6th basement floor. And he goes, there's a whole lot of this facility that you don't understand.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, that's right. And so he remotely unlocks this elevator door for you, and then you get into the elevator and it starts going down. And then when you do that, the achievement for finishing Rogue Incursion Part 1 pops up, and I was like, oh, this is the end of the game. That's how I found out I was at the end of the game. I got the achievement for it.
Yeah. Yep.
And then something happens that, Neil, I need you to explain to me.
Well, so he says
basically he says he's down on like a lower floor of the facility, and you go, okay, and you get on the elevator and go down there, and then the elevator opens up and there's a tunnel leading out in front of you, and there's like wreckage and rubble and stuff, and there is a synth standing there facing away from you.
Yes.
And both you and Davis are like, huh, that's weird, what's that? And then the synth turns around and faces you, and then me, the player, completely fucked up, because what happens after that is, because this game is the immersive sim style of game where there aren't any cutscenes and everything plot relevant happens while you're still able to control the character.
Yeah.
I went, oh no, is this guy going to dash forward and attack me or something? So I moved over to try to like hit the elevator button and found out that I couldn't. And then while he was off screen and I was not looking at what he was doing, the game suddenly cut to black. So I
shit.
don't know what it was that actually happened or what it was that he actually did. So Neil, do you remember what that synth did?
I do, because I was like, oh, fuck.
Okay.
Episode 2, part 2, let's go. You step out of the elevator, or the elevator door's open, whatever. And
I would say, or don't if you're in my situation.
you see this synth with his back to you, and he's kind of like hunched over, weird looking. I think he's got an orange jumpsuit on, kind of working Joe adjacent, right?
All right.
And they're like, oh, weird, what's going on? And he turns and he looks at you, and he turns all the way around, and his eyes are glowing red, and he's holding a pulse rifle, and he kind of swings around and points it at you, and the game ends.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Yeah,
That's
because
it.
what I have written in the notes here is we go down and there's a synth standing there and it screams at me. Then something happens that I don't know because I tried to go back to the elevator buttons and close the door, so the synth was off screen when it does the thing that's supposed to shock us for the surprise cliffhanger ending that suddenly happened. The dangers of not putting any damn cutscenes in your game, I suppose. So yeah, I didn't see that. I heard him scream from off screen, but I saw him start to turn, and then I went and tried to hit the elevator button, and so I didn't see anything he did after that. So all right, I got you.
Yeah, so suddenly all of these messages about the synthetics and kind of the idea that there might be this rogue AI imitating people's voices that I was sort of picking up on, whether they were there or not, whether I got the whole story or not, are sort of falling into place for me right now. Suddenly it makes sense how Helen might have gotten new orders to not blow up the facility, right? Downloaded directly into her, why you're getting access to certain things at certain times, etc. There's something deeper going on here related to these synthetics. Now, whether they're good or bad is yet to be seen, but it is implied by the ending that the AI, that the synthetics are going to be a problem in part 2.
Yeah, because that's one thing to note in this game that I didn't know if it would constitute a spoiler or not, so I didn't say it just in case. But there are only 3 on-screen characters in this entire game: Zula, Davis, and Helen. There's only 4 characters total because Carver is the 4th one, and literally the only thing you can interact with, like the only characters you can interact with, are xenomorphs, who are literally the only enemy in the game. Just regular drone xenomorphs, not counting the Praetorian.
And
literally
and
the only enemy in the game. Oh, and facehuggers. That's right. I forgot about them. But yeah, other than the facehuggers and the Praetorian, I suppose, literally the only thing you can fight in the game is the and when I say that, what I mean is that in the sense of the synths you fight aren't bad guys. They're not like working Joes where they turn on you and attack you or whatever. The synths are completely non-entities, except surprise ending at the end of the game. Actually, they might be bad after all. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, the ones up above are kind of walking around sort of, they keep talking about error, and how they don't have orders and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So they're sort of cut off from something, you know?
Yeah. The game says at one point that like the communications blackout also cut out the ability for like the drones to remotely receive like orders and updates and stuff, which is why you and Davis were surprised when Helen's like, I just got new updates, because like we were told from based on stuff that happened earlier in the game that would be impossible, yet here it is suddenly happening.
Yeah, man. That's the end of the game. That's the spoilery end of the game. And again, this is half a game. This isn't the whole game, and it's priced as half of a game, and it was a hell of an experience. And I'm really looking forward to part 2. And I hope that both versions of Part 2 come out at the same time. I hope the VR version and the non-VR version come out at the same time because I cannot wait to play the rest of this fucking thing. I can't wait.
I believe the non-VR version came out something like 10 or so months after the original version, because I think the VR version came out in like December of 2024 and the Evolved edition came out, I believe, in September of 2025, if I recall.
Yeah, man, I can't.
But I will say, though, is that was my one big gripe about the game, is how you said it's part 1. It's a whole bunch of like plot threads that are intended to be picked up in part 2, which means that this game has no resolution, even like internally. Like nothing comes to a close. No storylines are wrapped up, not even minor ones. And so like the game doesn't end, it just kind of stops. And it's like, I get that they did that because they didn't want to resolve the story halfway through because there's still a part 2, but you could have given us some sense of resolution in some way. That would have been nice.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the attempt at the resolution was Zula Hendricks isn't going to die from a chest burster.
Yeah, the face hugger stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not, and that she got in contact with Ben, but that's not enough, right?
Yeah.
You know, basically the resolution is that her journey can continue. And that's not, they've got me on the hook. Don't get me wrong. I do want more than that.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice to have more. One other more minor complaint that this is not really something the game did wrong. It's just something I personally would have preferred to see. If you're going to structure your entire climax around the Praetorian attacking you, the Praetorian should not have been introduced to the game 2 minutes before the climax started.
Yeah.
Like, the climax of Jurassic Park involves the T-Rex, but the T-Rex was in the movie before the climax started, you know? We saw the T-Rex at some point before that. They should have done that with the Praetorian too. The only hint we ever get is 5 minutes before we meet him, Helen being like, we're getting reports of a big alien stomping around. And then we get that one mention, and then like 3 minutes later, the Praetorian just shows up and he's there long enough for you to just kill him. And then that's it. And so it's like,
that's a good point.
If he was going to be the big bad final boss threat at the end of the game to cap off the experience, he should have been more of the game than just the point where we fight him. Cause then it would have felt like a bigger, more decisive threat if it was something that we already knew about and cared about from his appearances earlier on in the game.
Yeah.
But again, that's just a me problem. You know, that's not something necessarily wrong with the game. I would have just personally preferred it that way is all.
I think I'm with you on that. I think I get it that they were trying to surprise you with it because I kind of thought, oh, Queen, you know? I wasn't even thinking Praetorian.
Yeah.
Even though I'm putting them down left and right over there on Fire Team.
That's right, baby.
But yeah, it would have been very cool to have just some moment earlier in the game where you encounter one or you see it from far away, right? Yeah. And you're like, oh shit. But you don't come in contact with it. You just know it's out there. And then you've got this feeling of dread the rest of the time while you're playing that this thing is there and you've seen it. And when is it going to pop up again?
Every time you go outside or enter a big room, are you like, is this their way of threading the needle of the Praetorians about to show up, you know?
Yeah.
Anytime you're in a space large enough for him to fit, you're like, oh shit, is he right around the corner?
Yeah, dude. That would have been cool. But also, I mean, the shock of it was also...
Oh yeah, him suddenly just being there and then immediately killing Helen, you're like, uh-oh. Especially because, like I said, you're trapped in place and literally can't move while he's staring at you through the window from like 20 feet away.
And I have no idea how to deal with this. I haven't encountered with this. I'm not prepared for it. I wasn't expecting this. So it's like, I don't know if you saw it earlier in the game, if they would have done a thing where like, we need to be prepared in case we encounter that thing. You need to go find the rocket launcher or something like that, right?
Or
and
whatever,
like,
yeah.
teased it out versus just the surprise of bam, here he is, you know. And again, in the scope of like an entire game, this would have just been your first encounter with it, right? And there would have been,
that's true. Yeah.
Presumably, there will be more of them next time.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, when looking at the game Rogue Incursion, we're only halfway through it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, meeting the Praetorian is the halfway point of the game. There's probably going to be more. We're probably going to fight a queen at the end of the game, you know?
Yeah. That's what they do, huh?
Yeah, that was actually something I was talking about with a friend of mine the other day. I was like, Aliens introduced queens, and then ever since the queen first showed up, AVP is the only other movie to have ever used a queen during the climax. No, I wouldn't say Resurrection didn't do it because that was the newborn.
Yeah. Yeah, Queen didn't really.
Aliens and AVP and Aliens are the only movies in the series to have used queens during the climax, which I find to be admirable restraint, considering that ever since the queen was introduced, every single video game ever made has had the queen be the final boss fight.
What if
I mean, that's also an exaggeration, I know, because, like, for instance, Isolation doesn't do that, but you know what I mean.
What if they throw you for a loop and they're like, haha, Deacon, motherfucker. Remember this guy?
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah, you
get dumped into a big tank and there's a bunch of Deacon sharks and you have to kill them.
Just one of these guys. Yeah, well, that's all.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All we got.
Or maybe we could fight like an emperor or something. That would be cool.
I'm wondering if they'll dip into any pathogen creatures. Who knows?
Maybe. Could be.
I kind of doubt it. I mean, as much as they sort of started to embrace that stuff, they also haven't sort of embraced it with their whole chest. And I think that they're trying to stay in the realm of aliens.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, who knows how long it's going to be until part 2 comes out? Because, like I said, part 1 came out like just over a year ago. And as of right now, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, it came out, December of 2024. It still says a second game is in development. I'm looking to see if there's any updates about it. Let's see. Oh, it says here the Evolved Edition includes changes to the controls, of course, camera, of course, but also pacing. So that's interesting. Yeah, it just says Rogue Incursion is the first of a 2-part story with, as of December 2024, a second game in development. So there hasn't been any updates since the original VR version came out about the status of part 2. So presumably they're still just chugging away on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they got to work in all that new stuff from Alien Earth.
That's right, baby. It's good. Part 2 of Rogue Incursion is also going to be a stealth sequel to Alien Earth.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of those T-Oculus things swarming around all everywhere.
That's right, baby.
And
hell yeah,
the whole sub levels are going to be full of those dick bees or whatever.
that's right.
Yeah. All right. I'm pretty excited to. I will definitely play this again. I will probably play it again soon, just to see about, now that I've got a handle on things, just try to do a more complete run through, more exploration and everything, sure. Right?
Yeah, just a little hint for when you open up those gold-plated wire junctions.
Yeah.
What I do is, like I said, every single one that I recall opening had a bunch of face huggers in it. What I recommend is dropping a grenade on the floor a few feet in front of the door, then opening it up and immediately running away, because if it blows up while you're in, it'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But when the explosion
happens, it should be big enough to kill all three of them at once.
Okay.
That is the only way I was able to get through it without having to pull multiple face huggers off of my face every single time, because those MFs were impossible for me to see once they escaped.
There were several like times where there was like a locked suitcase or locker or something where you have to like, you know, open it with a terminal or open it some different way. And it's like, I should have known there was a face hugger in here. They made me go through just a whole different way of opening this just to get in here.
Yeah, there was
the same tricks.
Was,
you know?
one I only remember one locker in the game that when I opened it up had a face hugger in it, but I opened up the logger, saw the face hugger, and immediately went, "Oh shit!" and just blasted it right in the face with the shotgun. It was really funny.
Yeah, I learned to drop the torch before I opened things after a while because it was happening.
I hear you.
Once it happened like twice, I was like, I just gotta get the shotgun in my hand. You know.
Also, you were correct. The other book that Alex White wrote was The Cold Forge. Yes.
Nailed it. All right. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say about the game. I'm literally going through my notes and I'm not really seeing anything else. Like I already mentioned that I like how Davis wears glasses. That's really fun.
Yeah.
The mess hall fight scene was really good. The nest scene was really cool. Let's see. Filling his brain full of needles was really cool.
Oh man.
I talked about the gas bomb, whatever that was. Helen, which by the way, it made me laugh when she's like, "Oh yeah, I like, control the port." And then, Davis is like, "Ah, of course. The face that launched 1,000 ships. I should have known." That really made me laugh.
Clever.
Let's see the really cool fucking C-section scene in the med pod. Carver is still alive. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think we're good.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else.
I'm so tempted to try to play this in VR.
Yeah, see, I've mentioned to you before my extremely stupid but still very strong desire to buy an Xbox Series X, even though I don't need one and probably won't get any use out of it.
Yeah.
The problem is I also want to get a PSVR 2, even though I will never use it, because the entire point is that every game is in first person, so I'll never be able to use it, but I still kind of want to fucking buy one.
I know. I'm just thinking like this would be worth the ticket price for me specifically for some reason.
And
even though
I might be wrong.
It would scare me. It would scare me absolutely shitless.
I might be wrong, so you can cut this out if you want to. But I believe, I don't know if it's official or not, but I believe you can play Isolation in VR.
Oh, fuck. I don't know that I could handle that one.
It looks like, okay. Yeah, it looks like the game, it does not have a native developer supported VR mode, but it can be played in VR on a PS4 using the PSVR headset in cinematic mode.
Okay.
So,
that might
so
be.
yeah, it's not native 3D VR, but I guess you can do it. But yeah, dude, imagine if you're picturing Rogue Incursion in VR, imagine Isolation in VR, dog.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to be buying that PSVR anyway, you may as well give Isolation a spin, see how it works.
Yeah, we'll see. Jeez Louise. All right. Let's get out of here.
Hell yeah.
Kenny, what do you got going on?
Very little. I'm currently in the middle of playing the Saints Row reboot from a couple of years ago. Sorry, I'm in the middle of playing the Woke game from a couple of years ago. I know how little that narrows it down.
Okay.
But so that's what you're going to be able to find me playing if you look me up on the PSN. My handle is at CYHOBBEZ. It is also my handle on Twitter and a couple other things, Blue Sky. But don't DM me on Blue Sky because I can't respond to or even read DMs. If you're going to DM someone, DM Neil or the show account, which will also be read by Neil.
Yeah, I check the show account stuff. Yeah.
I should just specify the reason I can't read DMs is not by choice. Blue Sky literally won't let me. Thanks to some weird anti-porn laws that the Ohio Senate passed.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, DMs are like behind a lock screen that you have to do age verification for on Blue Sky. I have tried all 3 forms of age verification multiple times, and every single time Blue Sky has told me that I am not who I say I am, and it didn't work. So I literally cannot unlock DMs on Blue Sky. So do not DM me on Blue Sky. I literally cannot read them.
Jeez Louise. Ugh.
So if you want to talk to us on the show via DM, send it to the show account, and then Neil will just tell me about it. Or maybe he won't, but whatever.
If you guys want to talk to Kenny on Blue Sky, call the Ohio State Senators and tell them that you have had enough with this age verification law.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
I believe Discord's going to start implementing that next month, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we sure will.
Boy.
So yeah, that's me though. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on the PSN. I'm on Letterboxd at CYHOBBEZ. Neil, how about you?
Well, I may regret this, but I am on PSN as Final Neil, and I'll play Fireteam with you.
Cool.
That's all I'm doing right now. Where can people find this show, Kenny?
Our Twitter account is at Crew Expendapod. Our Blue Sky is at Crew Expendable. Our Instagram and our threads is both Crew Expendable Pod. Our website is crewexpendable.net. Our bonus show website is coolerbot.transistor.fm. Our email address is mother@crewexpendable.net. Our YouTube page is youtube.com/@crewexpendable. And our donation site is coolerbot.net.
We have a bonus show. Did we plug that just now?
I mentioned the website, but otherwise didn't plug it. We do have a bonus show. It's called Crew Expandable, and it's this show, but talking about everything except the Alien franchise. So far, we have 2 episodes on the revered Jason X and the equally revered The Faculty. And our next episode is going to be 1982's John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes, we still have to record that one, so hang tight, everybody.
Yeah, we haven't recorded it yet, but we're going to get around to it sooner rather than later. We'll get to it soon enough.
That's right. Oh, I got one more thing to plug. I forgot. You guys know our friends over the They Made Another One podcast. Corey likes to tag me in when Corey, my former co-host on my old podcast, MK PodQuest, likes to tag me in when in need. And he recently tagged me in to discuss Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
I listened to that TMAO episode where they were discussing it for like 10 minutes. Okay. And so you are actually doing it then. It did actually happen.
Oh, it's recorded. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
A movie that would at one point have been fodder for MK PodQuest, except for the fact that it's total garbage and I didn't want to do it then. So
all right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we had a good time talking about a terrible, terrible film. I'll put a link down in the show notes, but go subscribe to They Made Another One in your podcast app and check that out.
Yeah, Neil has been on the show multiple times. It is a good show. Listeners, I have listened to every episode of that show multiple times and am caught up. And it's like legitimately actually a good show. Go listen to it. Like I said, Neil's been on it a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the quality when I'm on the show, but it is a good show otherwise. Yeah. When Corey and I are in a room together, a virtual room together, we descend into our old bullshit. So
I would say it pretty much just becomes an MK PodQuest episode.
yeah. So if you liked our show, MK PodQuest, you'll probably like this one. And if
Because it's an MK PodQuest.
yeah. And if you didn't like that, well, what's wrong with you?
And if you're only a listener to this show, then go check that episode out to find out what it's like to hear Neil podcast with someone other than me for a change. Yeah.
All right.
Imagine how things used to be.
We will be back with our long-awaited Alien versus Predator movie episode next time.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's already recorded. I just got to get the edit done. And that will be out soon. So
Hell yeah.
So until then, stay
Stay
frosty.
frosty.